Our adage work at the bar tends to bring about a certain array of challenges. So to talk a little bit about the progression of bar, if you're doing a full-length ballet class, it's not uncommon to do multiples of things. So sometimes our pliés can be divided into our demi-plié and our grand pliés, and then we'll do a slow tendu and a fast tendu, a slow dégagé, a fast dégagé. We'll do slow rondejambes and we'll take them en l'air. We'll do faster rondejambes. This is different if you're not used to that type of bar setup. It also can be done where you just do one of each, and you may play with different speeds within that combination. But by the time we get to the adage portion, just the truly adage portion of bar, we will have done our pliés, our tendus, our dégagés, our rondejambes, our frappés, and then we hit our adage. So at this point in the bar, you should be thoroughly warmed up. And for new dancers, sometimes we're kind of feeling the burn a little at this point, which can be our first big challenge point, trying to build our endurance. So I see some dancers, if they're learning new things at the bar especially, and we get here and we're already kind of getting the fatigue going on, it can be a little tiring trying to hold your limbs where they properly belong. Another thing that I will see is inappropriate breathing. So when we work our really slow holds and lengthening of everything, we tend to hold our breath. We need to make sure, especially during our adage, I mean really for everything, but especially our adage, that we're breathing consistently. So our breath can change depending on what we're doing and how we're accenting. But when you're working through it, you want to keep it constant, because the more you breathe, the more oxygen you get flowing through your muscles, and they'll help you control everything that you're doing. If you hold your breath, we tend to clench. And then we get really restricted in our movement, and we don't get to go nearly as far. When I'm seeing dancers do that, I usually will remind them to breathe. Sometimes we'll also hold tension in our necks. If we've had a really rough week or a rough day, we'll tend to shrink up. And so when we get to our adage, if we're fighting extra hard, if you're pulling up in your upper body, you're going to have a domino effect and restrict the movement in your legs just by what your upper body's doing. Whereas, if you lengthen and you're breathing properly, you'll find that you're able to just have your legs float where they need to go. Another point that I see during our adage work is we'll sometimes forget everything that we've built up for so far. So referencing the order of bar, again, at this point you will have done all of these different steps to set you up to get to this point. So when we go to extend, sometimes I see our dancers forget that they need to do a tendu and we sickle instead. We want to make sure that we're engaging our tendus. If we are working on our fondus, make sure that you're engaging those pliés. If you're lifting up higher, now you have your dégagé engagement. Sometimes rondejambes are involved, in which case now you're really working that hip as well. Those are all things that play a part in different adage combinations. So don't forget all of the work that you put in ahead of time at the bar. Make sure that you're applying that now. All of those 5-foot positions, your alignment, your tendus, your dégagés, your rondejambes, all of that applies now. These are really hard things to remember. They sound simplistic, we can easily talk about them, but it takes a lot of practice and consistency in making sure that you're doing this every single time. So these are just a few of the things that I want you to be aware of as you're practicing your adage. Make sure you're breathing, make sure that you are lengthening, not clenching, and really make sure that you're allowing the movement to happen. I hope that you have enjoyed your Adage week so far, and be sure to check back tomorrow as we start talking about our Grandbatmas. I will see you then.